The All Smiling Faces podcast is now sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode. Hi everybody and welcome back to the Always Smiling Faces podcast on the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. We are back for another match reaction. 2 days too late, like a match reaction at Newcastle United versus Crystal Palace. How are you, boys? We've got everybody at night. It's been a while since everybody's
first
been
time
here.
since like April or something, I think.
I think this might be the first time this season.
Oh, it definitely is.
Do you reckon it is?
Yeah, definitely.
It will be because we've all been
On
away on
holiday.
holiday at some point, haven't we? So
Yeah, so everybody's back tonight. And what an occasion to start with. So, Mark, I'm going to come straight to you. We're going to go straight into the football, exactly like we did last week. Okay? Best he'll have to wait for his usual stories because there's bound to be one.
That's probably I.
You look like Big Bird at the minute. It's like proper colour, isn't
And
it?
it's really, really yellow like I.
it's a good job we didn't play Norwich at the weekend.
Well, they've got change kits and stuff like that.
Kind. Well,
Grandad.
So, yeah, we'll get straight into the match. Mark, so Crystal Palace come to St. James's Park. Positive going into that game?
Yeah, I was looking for I sounded a little bit like Steve Gerrard there, didn't I? Yeah, of course. I was expecting a bit of a reaction off the back of the Liverpool game, and obviously the frustrations that were felt from that, and I think positive team that we put out with what we had on paper available to us. Obviously the two centre backs coming back in. And yeah, I was feeling confident going into it. I thought we'd get something out of it. Two similar teams, I think, when you look at them on paper and how they both line up and play. So I was expecting a good game.
Would you say, Decker, Newcastle should be aiming to do what Crystal Palace have done over the last couple of years? Do you reckon the last couple of games, so we had Crystal Palace, we had Liverpool before that, put that one side, but then Wolves. Would you say that's the area that the club are probably aiming at the moment this season?
I would probably, yeah. And I would have to say that probably Wolves and Palace are also looking to be pushing into that sort of,
Next
6 to 10, isn't it? It's like them
do you know what I mean?
numbers, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Within that, and I have to be fair, I was actually a little bit more worried about the weekend than I think a lot of people I spoke to, because I think Palace are a good side and they've done brilliant start. And I felt as if people were just like, oh, great, we've got Palace at home on Saturday, we'll win that one. Like, it was very, I don't know, that was the attitude I was getting. And I think they're a good side. Vieira's got them playing well. Obviously, Zaha's the main danger, But yeah, I thought it was going to be tough, but having said that, I was in the more of the Mark camp that I didn't think that the last minute goal would affect we're in that way. I don't think we're built that way anymore. Whereas there was a lot of people thinking, oh, they could be hungover from that, and it might, they might be a bit down, and that I don't believe that personally. Off one game, that it affects them like that now. We're different. We're a different animal now. So,
I agree. I think the way Howe sets them up, they're very methodical.
Yeah, 100%.
Where it's not a case of you've got to overturn this injustice, perceived injustice that happened at Liverpool game, or these injustices, whatever. This is a different game. You just wipe that. You learn from your mistakes from that game, but here's how you kind of. And yeah, I don't think that's how he approaches games, and I think obviously he doesn't set the team up to kind of. But I'm with you, Decker, what you said there. But I'll mirror. I think Palace. I remember the Palace game late last season when it was when McGee scored that one when Bruno played it over the top and he got a goal a month, I think he got. And this is a good Palace side. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, Palace, if they won the Premier League, you knew there was only 2 more teams going to get relegated because they were guaranteed to go down. And they've been up for 10 years, something like that now, and they've become a really steady. I think after the Pulis get them up. Was it Pulis? He was manager there for a while. Either way, whoever it was. And they've become a really steady, and Vieira's managing them well now. They've got good players here. They've got Zaha. He's a decent player up front. They're a good, solid, Anderson, the centre half, as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're a really good side. Now, it was never a gimme for me. But I remember in the build-up to the game, I kind of felt, it's Palace. It's a good chance to get 3 points. And then thought back to last season, thinking, well, hang on a second, this is a.
Well, called Palace up, didn't we, towards the end of last season?
We did, but they're not a pushover. Like, you know, they're a good side. And again, I agree with the lads. They're one of the teams that if we want to finish as high as possible, we're going to have to find a way of. Obviously, you can't beat them twice a year, so it's not as if you kind of beat them more than twice, possibly. But you kind of they're one of the ones that you look at their form and think, well, we've got to match them at least because they're going to be. I don't think they're going to be like what. Well, I'd say West Ham are bottom.
Gallagher didn't on loan last year, who scored a lot of goals for them.
He did. I thought the Zaha quiet at the weekend there.
He's I know you, Decas, there. You said that obviously he's a danger man. I think generally he is. He's their top player, but I can't think of the last time he had a good game when he came up. Yeah, like certainly last season.
He's not one of these players you see linked with. He went to Man U for a bit, didn't he? When he was young,
struggled. Yeah,
I mean he was young as well, so you give him that. But I'm not going to react.
He's like Matt Letizia, isn't he? He's the modern version of him.
Poor bloke. That's not a nice thing to say about somebody.
I think being there at Palace, he's comfortable and he's the main man, isn't he? And I said to you on Saturday, I says I'd be frustrated playing alongside of him because he's a
surprise. Eh?
He said the same about you.
It's the way
it was his reaction.
His reaction to everything, like that. If a pass went astray or it didn't quite come to him or something didn't come off with the team, he was huffing and puffing, throwing his arms up in the air, and I know obviously he's got high standards that he wants to achieve, but if you're a player on there and you're seeing that reaction from a player on your team, it
was very Ronaldo-esque, wasn't it? How Ronaldo throws his arms about when he does.
He's like that, he's got like he's resting face,
prima donna.
He's got a very moany kind of.
His interview after the previous game, I think that he had scored an absolute worldie, by the way. But anyway, they finished 1-1, I think, and he was just kicking off in his interview, saying why we're sitting back, what kind of defending. He was just got off it, and I was like, whoa,
yeah.
But you look at the Liverpool goal he scored that took the lead. It was a beautiful finish. He scored
some absolute goals.
He's very talented.
He's a very good player. But I agree with Mark that, in fairness, we have kept him quiet almost every time that we played him. But they had players that could hurt with.
I like Eze.
And I still think
that's great.
He's a good player. Yeah. I think that the overriding problem, and I'm going to sound a little bit hypocritical here because obviously I said something at halftime on Twitter that I'm about to sort of nail my own point here, but losing Maxi and Bruno is huge, right? Mm-hmm. And I said at halftime, by the way, that on the tweet I went on Twitter and it was as if we're getting to be 4-0, as if some of the opinions I was seeing, and I thought we played brilliant. I know I'm jumping forward. I apologise. I thought I played really, really well the first half. I did everything except score. We certainly weren't failing to create chances and stuff like that. And I went on there and it was like, we'll miss Maxi. We'll miss Bruno. I'm like, whoa, that's so unfair unjust on the players that are on that pitch. We battered them for long periods of that first half. Then somebody said it was back here. Yeah, but both teams had a chance to score in that game. Well, what? So you're expecting to play a Premier League game and just then not attack? Like,
and they're not going to have a single...
I find that berserk. Like, now, obviously, in the second half, which I know we'll come to, yeah, all right, okay. Maybe we did miss their class, but I still felt in the first half we were very unlucky not to go.
I thought we were by pretty considerable distance the better side.
100%.
They had a spell, Palace. They had a spell towards the end of the first half. Well, actually, but maybe it's between 25 and 35 because the last 10 minutes it was constant towards the Gallowgate. And then the second half, towards the end, you saw them like push up the pitch a bit higher. Maybe it's after like 75 minutes, and they started like really started to look troubled. Times when the centre halves are passing it back to Pope, and it was just kind of getting passed around the back line. A couple of kicks went out, one went over Trippier's head. I think Botman tried to play it, and I was like, "Oh, you can see what they're trying to do here."
I think it came in after the whole VAR decision, which we'll get onto. I think after that decision,
was there a VAR thing? Was it?
You
must have missed that.
But I think obviously going back,
not just me by all accounts.
To the first half, I was honestly really impressed with what I seen. I honestly thought that considering we didn't have Maxi and Bruno. We were creating so much that honestly, I thought that some of the movement was great. I just thought, it's only a matter of time. This goal's going to come.
The first half, Miggy every couple of minutes seemed to get freed on the right hand side.
He had a great
energy again, wasn't he? Energy. Really good.
The problem is you just wish he had a right foot.
I know, and
there was a few times where he's trying to cross it with the outside of his left, and you're like, oh fuck no.
He's cut back in, and that's how we're playing with inverted wingers for a while now. Maxi is on the right as well, cuts in, and you just think every now and then it'd be great if. Just get to the byline, just to mix it up a bit, because they know Miggy. I mean, if we're sitting here, look, he's one-footed. You can bet Patrick Vieira's not going. Oh, he's. I'm surprised that he hasn't.
Yeah.
So they know, teams know. They know that Miggy's going to cut back, I suppose you got trip in the overlap every now and then, like, but you think just wish that he had a bit more. And we've said it a few times this season, in fact, last 3 seasons, with confidence in his right foot. He's a better player again, and I like him. I thought Miggy was excellent.
His energy and his overall speed. I mean, he's always been quick, don't get us wrong, but there were certain times again on Saturday where he's faster than I mean, remember him being
outside of
running fast.
It feels like there kind of be a harder working player in the league for me. Like,
I'd be shocked.
The ground he covers.
Yeah, I'd be shocked.
It is one of those things where I felt as if the more that game went on, you knew which way it was going to go, and I thought
you were getting nervous, weren't you?
I was getting my arse was like this, twitching like all the way through that second half, because I just thought the amount of chances we've created here and haven't been able to put it in the back of the net.
Yeah,
obviously you've got Almiron hit the post.
Mm-hmm. There's a huge chance,
and Isaac's one-on-one. He does great to win that ball, closes the ball,
makes it himself, doesn't he?
He's done that a few times, nick the ball, and even later on,
it's his pace. The defenders and the midfielders just weren't expecting that turn of pace from him. You could see them getting caught out.
When he tried to chip it, I thought of Jacob Murphy. Just put it in the net. It was just like that.
So he nicks the ball, then he's away. He's one-on-one. Arguably, probably got way too much time to but there's a fine line between a bad miss and good goalkeeping.
I was
pretty like down the middle, because I thought the keeper done really well not to come running out, which you see so many keepers doing. He stood his ground. I'm not moving yet. But at that point, Isaac's just got to literally bury that. He tries to.
It feels like his last touch before the shot was a little bit heavy, and that's what's.
I don't think if he did that, it hasn't even got enough pace to go in. Anyway, I don't feel he'd have to get there again.
It feels like it's really underhit.
It was really underhit. I'm stunned, and I always say this when someone's running through. I'd have no idea why he don't go around the goalkeeper. I have no idea. He was running, in his own stride. I know the keeper hasn't come rushing out, but I felt he could have. I'm saying easily, I couldn't have done it, but just not to pass the keeper. Like, I honestly thought it was, but to slow it up and then try that, it was dreadful.
I'm sitting here thinking what you just said there. I'm sitting here thinking, well, why not go take an angle?
But
then I'm thinking, like,
I think he's running too.
Like he's
straight, isn't he? Straight on.
It feels that way, but then I think, well, that's like what happens on FIFA, and FIFA isn't real life. So.
But he was at the start running straight, but then I thought he would just knock it to the right and just go on the keeper. The keeper's got a chance of bringing you down, like, who knows? But I thought the speed he was running at, if he just knocks that past the keeper, there's just no stopping him.
The keeper's going to try and make
he's pretty going to foul him.
And then maybe foul him,
I was like you, Chris. I think he's waiting for the keeper to commit himself and either make a move or come out. But like you say, the keeper does well just to hold his ground and stay up for as long as he does, because that's what does him. He makes himself a big target.
Two defenders running at him as well. So I think in the back of his mind, he's probably thinking, if I try and take this around the keeper, God knows where this defender is behind us.
They were still on the halfway line.
They weren't that far away.
I mean, it was just. I have to be. As soon as it happened, I just utter shades of Almiron. I mean, I know he's hit the post.
Against Huddersfield, I thought that as well.
You know what I mean? It was just shades of that. But going back to what you said originally, unbelievable even getting that position. It was all his own work.
Just nicked it.
And he was gone. So I'm not. The finish wasn't great. I'm sure he'd admit it himself if you asked him. Yeah. But to get there was fantastic.
His head didn't drop though. That was a big thing to come out of it, because he is still pretty young, but his experience and the amount of games that he's played in the leagues he has is shown, and we've seen that in his.
Well, we spoke about his debut against Liverpool, Mark, and how good he was during that day. We scored 2 goals, really. Obviously, one was ruled offside. Literally put 2 of the best defenders in the league on the arses in the same move. And you think coming into this game, he looked great again, but he's that type of player that just on the last man, he's constant, ready to make that move. And once Bruno and Maxi come back in that team, Decker, he's going to be getting umpteen chances, not necessarily the ones that he's creating himself, but we know how great Bruno is at through balls. He put 4 on a plate for Miggy not so long ago. If he's got Isaac running on them,
you would definitely, you would definitely think so. You would think the intelligence of them being able to find these runs, and obviously he's probably going to be more inclined to make even more runs because he's going to believe that ball's going to get there. Maybe at the minute, not to criticise everyone, but I still, we do miss quality in that centre of the park. For me, there's quality just not there, in my opinion. But
I thought Willock was a lot better on Saturday than he has been so far this season.
I've got to not an axe to grind necessarily, but Joe Linton's passing's been off last couple of games, I've thought. against Liverpool, because I've not talked about that one yet, so if I may indulge us a second or two, like there was a couple of times, I think 4 or 5 I counted, where he's just under hit the final ball, where the ball was on, and he's just played it behind the man, and it's kind of taken all the momentum out the attack. Fraser did it a couple of times at Anfield as well, and he's passing on Saturday. There was a few that were like, oh, hang on, that's not very good. This isn't like the start of some sort of anti-Joe Linton movement that I'm trying to kind of cultivate.
Don't need another one of them. I'll tell you that.
But
Being defense this time next year.
I think, like, you know, we're correctly kind of praise him to the hill because he's brilliant for the last 10 months or so. But his passing has been a little bit.
I actually thought he was awesome on Saturday. Like
he still had the highest amount of successful passes.
Aye, I've not seen that
because I'd seen that. There's a few people had said that the last couple of games, and there was loads of stats chucked at it, and he's had the most passes leading to chances and stuff like that. Only Maxi's had more.
He's like
shot.
Crazy, he's done well.
Shot ones to do it. So
he was like, well, we've said this a few times, but there was a times on Saturday where he was just like the Army 2.0. Like,
unreal.
He was.
Do
you know, like he would just like. Players would have the ball and you just march them down and take it off them.
Yeah.
Time after time.
There's times I think I've said this before as well. Joe Linton is what people seem to think Diarmi was.
Aye.
Because I thought Diarmi was quite limited, to be honest with you. Like if he wasn't going straight ahead, he couldn't pick a pass out.
No,
it had to be in front of him.
Yeah.
He was brilliant, great at breaking the play down and stuff, and kind of
or sideways.
Yeah, but he couldn't. There was no.
Do you think Joe Linton's game drops when he doesn't have Bruno alongside him?
I think it's going to be harder to put a. I mean,
got to graph a lot more
with all the goodwill in the world that Sean, who's replaced Bruno last couple of games, like they're not the same player. You know, they're not the same stratosphere really. And I think that will. It could even come down to a language thing where if he's more comfortable speaking to someone in Portuguese, he's got someone next to him speaking Portuguese. I don't know. I've never played football with any foreigners because I'm a notorious racist. So
allegedly.
No, that's about myself. I can't slander myself. It's all right. I'm not going to sue myself. I might. But yeah, like it could be as simple as that. I remember years ago on about when Manquillo seemed to play better when he was alongside Fernandes. And I remember saying, "No, that's because they're speaking Spanish." And Fernandes is like, he was like a captain when he was I liked him like a lot.
Manquillo and Miggy.
Miggy's not a defender.
No, but up that right hand side.
Well, I suppose Perez, Rondon,
that a good,
and Miggy as well when they came was all of the 3 Spanish speakers. But digress. I think not having Bruno there probably has made it harder for Joe Linton to kind of. But there again, I agree totally. He was excellent, but it's just that little bit of some of his passes are like.
I think we're showing. One thing I will say about him is what I've noticed when I've watched him. I think positionally sense, more so off the ball, is a lot better. Hell of a lot better off the ball. His positional sense of getting in the right areas. The problem you've got, and this is no slight on him, he just when he gets the ball, just does not have the quality of what Bruno does. As simple as that, really. Or even if you could even say John Joe's not there, and John Joe was head and shoulders above in terms of quality on the ball. Yeah. And I still think Longstaff, sometimes the best you'll see of Longstaff's when he's higher up the field. I hate it when he gets in tight areas. If he's picking the ball up off the back four and having to turn, I shit myself because I always think, God, he's going to lose it here. Whereas if Bruno does that, well, it's fine. I always feel
Longstaff as well. You know? There's two assists he's put in, one against Arsenal last season, Liverpool.
Great ball.
Where it's been the same pass more or less.
Yes.
One thing about Wilson, one for he's that way, he just kind of gap, spot of the run, there you go.
Yes. Yeah.
And pretty much the same goal.
Yeah.
The thing that worries me about Longstaff is when he's closing the player down from behind, it's very Richie-esque, where you know for fine well that player's getting a free kick.
Yeah.
And it's always on the edge of the box, and it happens God knows how many times a game. Richie used to do similar.
Callback
just
as well.
Callback as well. Just need his fouls, just run in the back of people.
It reminds us a lot of that McTominay for Man United in that regard.
Yeah.
He just charges in the back of people in that. I know what you mean. He's trying to make it probably a point, but like it's dangerous, isn't it?
I think that there's been a lot of fans like start slagging Longstaff's performance off the last couple of weeks, but I think he's been all right. I think he's done a half decent job in the absence of Bruno. Obviously, you can't put those two players in the same bracket. You just kind of do it. So you can't be overly critical of Longstaff for not being Bruno because it's never going to happen. He's never going to get anywhere near that.
And I think it's sometimes an easy target to be fair. It's sometimes when Dummer comes in, it's the same. You know, when he comes in, it's just he's shite. I'm just saying, like, it's the name that people look at and go, well, he's crap him. Do you know what I mean? Whereas other players might get left alone. I'm not convinced. I know Mark said he played all right on Saturday, but I don't think Willock does enough. Like, to be honest with you, I don't think he.
No, I said he was better.
No, I'm all right. I mean, everyone was getting very excited about he burnt Walker. All right, great. Like he did that one turn and I'm yet to see much else, really, if I'm being honest. And I hate to say that. I want everyone to do well. But I think that's an area, again, I still think Anderson should be on personally. I thought Anderson was good when he came on as well.
I've been really impressed with him.
He's excellent.
When I've seen him,
Excellent.
Yeah.
So technically gifted. He's a great player.
He's looked decent. He really has
For
done
his age as well.
The cameo that he's getting. He is involved in a lot of... He's always driving to go forward.
I think, was that him about an hour in? Or it was a bit later on, up the left-hand side. Towards
In
the
the corner.
where he just absolutely...
Yeah.
He took it from halfway in, like... That was him.
He created 3 or 4 chances in that little left wing role that he came on to do.
Really,
that's not his position, but
It's
he
not his position.
Then
he did very well.
He's in a decent place to get the chance against Wolves when we hit the
Yeah,
bar.
yeah.
Then
Yeah.
he's in a decent area
Liverpool,
towards the
a
end
chance,
of the game at Liverpool as well.
Yeah.
And he wins the free kick on the edge for the sheer mess up against Wolves right on the edge of the box.
Mhm.
He just seems to be coming on. And listen, what I will also say, it can sometimes be easier for a player to come off in 10 minutes and give you a burst of life.
Yeah.
Whereas if you start him and try and consistently be great for 80 minutes, it's tough. But all I'd say is for a 19-year-old lad to come on and make an impact in a game is amazing.
I think you're right. What you're saying, Dick, as well. I mean, for a 19-year-old lad coming against tired legs, you're going to have that. And managers aren't yet going to know much about him.
Yeah.
So how do you defend? They don't know how to defend him properly. Yeah, they'll work him out eventually. He'll have to change. And as happened, like Maxie's had to do when he gets doubled and trebled up on, he's had to kind of change how he plays a bit. So, but no, I'm quite excited by Anderson. What I've seen of him, I've been very impressed with. I
Glad
thought
that he stuck around.
Yeah, I was hoping that he'd get a loan, maybe to the Championship. Obviously, he was at Bristol Rovers last season. They went up to League One. I wouldn't have minded that. I think he's probably a better standard than that. He certainly seems to be. But you've got that kind of continuity, and you kind of, I think you come on better with the same manager, even though it's Joey Barton at Rovers. But yeah, I think I'm especially how difficult we found getting attacking players in during the window. I mean, even Isaac only came in because of Wilson's injury, really.
Yeah. It was a deal that we didn't really want to spend the money on, apparently, at the very start of the window, but obviously the cards that
I'd love to have been in that board meeting with you. You know, apparently they had this meeting and they all just unanimously said, like,
spend it.
Must have been amazing to be in that room.
Al Remain who said, and they says, like, oh, we need him.
It's just amazing. Just do it.
Aye.
Amazing. Like,
Aye.
Whereas we couldn't even afford a loan fee for Chowdhury and we needed a centre midfielder, £1 million. I'm not sure about that. Like, and then they're just hanging out 60 million. It is nice. Like.
I think they'd moved on from him, which is why they were obviously, 99% of the way there with signing Pedro, and it was only the fact that they then his club came back to the table and said, well, maybe we will do business, which then
French
thought
as well.
We'll do it.
The Watford went a bit like weird, didn't they, with the whole Pedro thing towards the last day of the window.
Which totally backs up that way 100%
So
had agreed to
they put the
deal and he
photo
was on his way up here.
They put the photo on with him with the black and white shirt that they were wearing for that one game.
Yeah.
Then obviously
Nice
people
shirt.
said
Very nice.
The Newcastle shirt.
Yeah.
People were saying, is that like a dig at Newcastle? Then I think it was the next day they put saying, he's here to stay and stuff like that. I'm thinking
So 3 days running.
because obviously what's happened with Newcastle. That's why he's here.
There was someone else linked to one of those on the transfer deadline. Was someone like West Ham or
Everton.
That's right.
Was Everton.
Oh, that's right. It was,
I think it's one that in January we'll go again.
Yeah.
And I think we'll look at the two Leicester players. We'll look at Tielemans and we'll look at
Chowdhury.
not Chowdhury, no. We'll look at Madison.
He's at Watford now, isn't he?
Yeah, Madison.
Did he go to Watford? Did he?
Sure, he's got a Watford.
So I think we'll look at those two players and Pedro, from Watford. One of those will come in.
See, when you see the midfield, and I still harp on about this, that little lack of creativity. I really feel Madison would just would slot in beautifully. I really think he would give that little bit of edge.
Who do you sacrifice from?
Ben
Willock off?
For me, yes. I would play a 3 of Joe Linton, Bruno, and Madison. That's your 3.
It's a good 3, that. Like.
It's sexual, isn't it? Really?
Aye.
It's absolutely incredible. I know you're going to turn around and say, he's more
Not
of a
worth
right
20
winger.
million.
Come on.
I'd worry about dropping Bruno deep and losing what he can give you.
You wouldn't necessarily drop him deep, would you? If you've got Joe Linton as a kind of pivot.
If that team can't get the ball, doesn't matter where he is on the field. But right, let's go into the second half and let's just get straight into the VAR horrendous decisions once again going Newcastle United's way. So Bestie, we'll get your opinion on this one first of all.
Mm-hmm.
So in the ground, obviously you're not too far away from me and Mark.
Yeah.
The referee doesn't react to that whatsoever. The goal is given. Then obviously we realise that there's a player down. That's when everything stops. Yeah,
it was weird because the players, I wasn't sure. Obviously, you see the ball go in, kind of aware that there's been a collision, but trying to work out who it is. They try to do a head count and see.
Well, the players reacted straight away, didn't they, to the bench?
Yeah, and even then, I saw the referee I think it was Trippier, someone else on the edge of the box, like kisses and cuddles and stuff. I thought, oh, great, it's a goal. But
he was kissing and cuddling the referee.
Just trying to curry
Didn't
favour,
work.
I suppose.
Didn't work, did it?
But like, yeah, there was that much of a kind of melee around the goal that I thought that there's something's off here. Like it's not, it doesn't, because I'm always a quite even pre VAR. I wouldn't celebrate. I'd do me checks like linesman, not referee, right? Right now, it might only take a couple of seconds, but it's like right, yep, right, okay, we can enjoy it now. But VAR's even that's become like a longer because you'd look at it and think, well, how the players behaving, what's the referee saying? So yeah, I didn't know. I didn't hear the amazingly couldn't hear the public address when it said VAR. I thought you said offside. I thought like, oh well, could have been because free kick that's been kind of played out, like both from deep big part that's been played, so it could have been offside.
But even that announcement took quite a while to come.
It didn't happen straight away. Did it? Well, ironically, the best I've might be ironic, is it? But the best I've ever heard that Tannoy was the public address, because Tannoy is a brand name. The saxophonist, Johnny Blue Hat at half time sounded amazing. All right, that's what it's good for then. And then it was just shy that
again,
like you went in an airport,
like when you petrol forecourt or something like that. Like,
but the telling thing for me is there was no objection from the Palace players. They weren't kind of throwing the hands up in the air, rushing almost rushing around to the referee and stuff like that. And our players just ran away, celebrated. The referee was just looking at what was happening on the ground, and which is why I still did do the same as you. I looked straight up the line, check the linesman is her flag up as it was at the weekend. And yeah, I just didn't think there was anything wrong other than something that happened. I honestly thought there'd been a clash of heads or something like that in the melee,
because the stretcher came on, didn't it?
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I'm the same. I was looking at it thinking that, and then when you look at the replay, even taking away the incident, I've no doubt we might mention him passing at some point. Like you can see the ball come off. Is it Mitchell, the defender?
Yes,
and it bounces in.
On his shoulder,
he goes like, "Oh fuck!" He's like, there's no appeal. He's not. He's not.
Like that.
It's like, oh, I've scored one goal there.
It's because he knows he's bloody fouled Willock as well. Like,
don't tell anyone. No, a surprise.
I think it was that, wasn't it? I think there was a reaction to him was like, "Shit, you've getting in front of me."
Yeah,
and I've tried to give you one, but it's actually really backfired because I've ended up scoring an own goal. You could just see the poor lad was like, "Oh fuck." No. And I've always said this in football, like you can go off a lot from the player's reaction. Like if all them Palace players were absolutely screaming that there was a foul on the goalkeeper, my honest reaction would be, "Oh, actually, it might be here." Without saying it again, I'm just saying. Normally, when a player's react in a certain way, there's something in it. No one appealed. Nobody did. You know what I mean? And don't get us wrong. I understand why I got looked at, and I understand there's a hell of a collision there. Not stupid.
It's a big. Oh yeah,
when you see it back,
of course there is, absolutely. But equally, how on earth can however many people's looked at that, two in the studio and then him or whatever, cannot see the push in the back? That is worrying. That is worrying.
Well, you can forgive the on-field referee reviewing for what he is shown, even though you can still see that there's some contact there.
Yeah,
because he only sees that forward angle. You don't see it from behind, which is
that's the one.
That's the killer, isn't it?
It's outrageous. I didn't see it. I was talking to Mark Corby after it happened and stuff. I think he was at the bar.
He was at the bar because
he came back and told us, didn't he?
Fucking out wrong with that.
But he says that to me, and I thought like I was offside. He says, "Oh no," and he found out. And I thought, "Oh right." Then I kind of almost forgot about it. Really. I went with barbecue Saturday night, so I didn't really go on my phone so much, like, but I was just having a nice time and I watched match of the day. We were last on, it was like 4:00 in the morning. I was like, nah, and I thought, I'm going to bed. So I didn't see it until the morning after. There was a Ferrari. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, what's it? I saw the video and I was like, you kind of.
But what's the reasoning for not showing all the angles? That's what I don't get. Why have they not shown every single possibility to give the referee as much evidence and obviously footage to make the correct decision?
Well, they do any other time, don't they? They'll show you all of the angles, but then they'll focus in on the one that either shows there's been contact there or shows something has happened. And all they focused on was the collision between Willock and the keeper.
It appears to be the case that they didn't. It's mad because that's literally how do they think Willock's propelled himself like that? They must think that he's just jumping the goalkeeper, which is a fucking mad thing to do anyway. Like if you're gonna foul a goalkeeper, you don't jump at him like that. Yeah. unless you're Alan Shearer in the World Cup in 1998, that's Argentina maybe. I'm not one of these Premier League's corrupt and all that carry on things. People, I think that's in itself quite mad.
Just referees are shit.
But like to not show that angle,
yeah,
I just don't understand it.
And that's why I
don't
can have some sympathy for the on-field referee because he's making that decision based on what he's been seeing.
He's dealing with what he's been given back from Stockley Park. Whatever.
VAR, the operators there are 100% at blame for that decision.
I agree.
100%.
Yeah.
So the goal is given. Okay, so the referee gives the goal. Then obviously VAR comes, steps in, goes, "Oh, I think you should go and have a look at that." And you know, as soon as that happens, God knows how many times we've done this. I think it's only happened once.
This weekend as well.
Was it this weekend? So it's happened once.
Yeah,
with referees.
Oliver, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
A referee that we're never going to get because he's a Newcastle fan. But when he goes to the monitor, that decision's getting overturned.
But he like points as if he's like given the goal at first, doesn't he? Because everybody like almost
when he points
celebrates and goes, "Oh,
he stands and does that."
Yeah.
And I thought when people started celebrating, I thought, well, no, that's not
a free kick. Yeah,
that's not cool.
It's fine.
It's because you're not pointing anywhere near where the incident happened. But if he points there, then it looks like we're getting a penalty.
Oh, sorry.
No, carry on.
On the stream that I was watching on, we seen every angle.
Yeah,
right. We seen the angle that you discussed.
Going wild on streams, weren't there?
I remember everyone I was watching it with, there was loads of it, and I said, "Well, it's fine." Like even when the referee was running over to the monitor, and I said, "It's fine. It's absolutely fine." Because as soon as he sees this, they'll show him the push in the back.
Yeah,
and obviously when they give the decision, I was in disbelief. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. Now, how can you have professionals that are being trained to use this equipment and whatever can see an angle or the footage 3, 4, 5 times slowed down, can't see that? It's really worrying. Like for the game, that's a real problem. Like, and obviously that wasn't just us in that game. I know we're talking about us, but the West Ham one was shocking. There's some really bad decisions got made that weekend.
Leeds as well.
Leeds was shocking. You got Villas with Coutinho, shocking.
Yeah.
Really bad decisions.
It was all the same man as well, wasn't it?
And obviously ours was. I think we all go to the same bloke. So it's just horrendous.
Lee Mason. He was on VAR.
Yeah, I think it was.
And now I don't think I never recovered from it, and neither did the players either. By the way, we didn't recover as a team for me after that decision. I don't know what happened, but
it went flat inside the ground.
It just everything.
I thought it was quite flat all the way through compared to how it has been since like the takeover. Really, that was probably
especially after half time. It was seemed a bit flat. God knows what that might be, but obviously one of the impact is the likes of the VAR, and probably the fact that we had God knows how many chances in the first half and didn't put any away.
We did, and as a member of the union, sat here and we apparently not hooky, keep it top.
It could also be a referee.
I
don't have the authority.
It could be.
Nick Pope made 2 brilliant saves
in the middle of his goal.
One in the first half, in the middle where he's got. We've had problems with Chris Packets in goal in the past. He gets a hand to it and pushes it back out to the edge of the box, more or less. Like from the shot comes, it's a great save that. And then the one in the second half, when it's going across him and he kind of gets like an arm and a foot to it. It seems just pushes it towards 2 great saves there, like really good saves.
Again, he's command of his box. He just comes and gets everything, or if he's not getting there, he'll just punch it clear.
And he's got a good, brilliant. He's got a good old fist on him as well. Like I've been really impressed.
That's what she said.
He's
been really impressed with him
so far.
He's unbelievable. And when you think we've sat around this table for weeks, we did before, and I think I'm not trying to say that I said to do this, but I'm sure I said that. I would like another goalkeeper, but it wasn't actually really to replace Dubravka. It was just a challenge to Dubravka. That was all. And then all of a sudden, I never thought we'd be in this position without having Dubravka. I didn't think that was coming, but you see just the class up, don't you? We all like Dubravka, but I didn't have a problem with him. But when you see Pope in goal and his performances have just been next level.
He's been really
next level.
Excellent.
I mean, I've said it a number of times now. I knew he was a good keeper, but I just didn't realize of how good he is, and you only get to appreciate that when you're watching him week in, week out, and seeing what he does.
He's so quick at getting rid of the ball as well.
Yeah,
so quick.
Yeah, he is.
It's the difference, and that's probably because of the players that are around him compared to what we had at the start of last season. But we want to get up that field as quick as possible.
He's much better at that. He's got a good throw on him as well.
He had throw at one point. You see that little side throw that he did?
We noticed in his second half he stopped taking his goal kicks and stopped kicking the ball. So we didn't know whether he'd maybe picked up a little knock or injured himself or something like that. Botman was taking the goal kicks and we were obviously keeping it short within the box.
Might be a recurrence of that nasty injury he got at Anfield later on.
Maybe.
I thought someone was gonna say that.
But he was just he was having to roll it out or throw it out, and then he did that weird one out to the left, wasn't it?
There was a couple of I noticed that the end. I think Botman took a goal kick, but played like squared it to share, and then we just kind of
we did that 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
I think the other problem, obviously, the game was struggling after that decision when we didn't get the goal. We were really struggling. I'm not saying we lost with shape necessarily, but we lost that. I don't know, the tenacity, that intensity was gone a bit.
Palace picked up as well around that point.
They did. Then probably got a second win as well. That they didn't get in.
They made substitutions.
And the point I was going to make was we do not have the options, do we? You can see that there's no one really to turn to on the bench and go.
Oh, at Murphy, he came on and
I know it's your mate and that, but this is why I haven't liked him for a long time because he's just he's not good enough, is he? I'm
assuming that I didn't watch last week. I'm assuming that we've covered the Fun 88 half-time game video.
Actually, we never did.
No,
we never did.
Have
no.
not actually.
The new,
if that had been
Max game with the
we
players,
definitely covered it. But no, we didn't cover it.
We'll get on with it. We'll mention that at the end. Okay, keep that in mind.
I've got a couple of points to make about that.
Right. We'll also talk about the half-time display as well by the two fans.
Oh my
Jesus! We'll get onto that if either of you are watching. Take that football off that kid that won it. Jesus Christ!
The first one.
No, right. Well, sorry.
I went to the toilet, so I missed it.
So did he.
You probably honestly.
You're probably in more danger than the goal.
But just to round things up, the things which I was surprised at in the game was Botman and Fabian Schär starting.
You were surprised?
Yeah, I didn't expect to see Dan Burn on the bench. Or either at left back, Target comes straight back in at left back, and Burn's done a decent job there.
Interesting that Burn came on for Target.
Did.
Instead of like a
left back.
Yeah, basically. Burn's been okay at left back. I think he played for Man City.
He's played their loss for Brighton, though.
Yeah, he played at Brighton for us as well.
Do you think this is the change now? I know we had a lot of debate at the start of the season who our first choice centre backs were going to be. Is that what we're seeing there at the weekend? It's going to be Fabian Schär and Botman.
I think Botman feels. I thought Botman played well on Saturday. It feels like he's Alexander Botman as well. Botman.
Rolls Royce on the ball, isn't he?
Butters. Oh, he is.
He's so good on the ball. He really
was one in the second half where he picked it up and just kind of took past his man and was up the field.
Spraying some lovely ones out wide to Trippier and things like that. He's got it like there's no. Now, to be fair though, that I feel damn sorry for Burn though. Yeah, but isn't it the way it goes? Like when
beast, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Burn's done very little wrong for me. Like, I like him a lot. I like Dan Burn an awful lot.
Like love him. But I think probably being honest, he's over the course of the season, he's still going to get an opportunity. It'll come along. I agree with what you're saying. That I think that's them too.
How mentioned though the other, I think it's probably 2 weeks ago now when he was talking about the defense and Botman, that he's got half an eye on him playing right side, which you would then think he would be matching Botman and Burn up alongside each other. So if Botman went across the right hand side to replace Schär and then Burn comes in alongside of him.
I suppose it might not be the long-term plan to replace Schär, but it gives you that bit of flexibility if he can play.
He's got a good right foot on him. He picked a couple of nice passes with it.
I can't ever remember having right and left side of centre halves as being such a thing before. Like in my head, he just had centre halves, two of them. One of them was normally a bit of a John Terry type, or not as good as John Terry, but a destroyer.
Good in the air.
Another one, ideally, you'd have one that was more like I'm going to say Rio Ferdinand, but a ball player like Corricini, Younger and Biwa, Bemba to a certain degree. The other one was like a Williamson or Lejeune. That was a good player. Or William, that racist fella, Woodgate.
Seemed best.
I know that isn't allegedly, because I can't say that. But yeah, he was just a lovely, a good footballer. But it was never kind of, he plays on the right hand side of the two, or the left hand side was just at the centre halves.
So Dan Whitten says, and I'll come to you, Decker. He says Fabian Schär and Dan Burn both in their 30s, and fixture pile-up may require some resting. Would you be shocked to see going in the West Ham game Burn and Botman?
Seeing how he picked Lascelles to start against Liverpool, nothing's going to shock me.
True.
In terms of the back
four well as well.
He played great. He played great. But
there's been quite a mixture the last few games.
100%. And going into that game and seeing no Schär. Sorry, who was it? It was Lascelles and
Lascelles and Burn.
Burn, wasn't it? Yeah, because then Botman wasn't there either. And I was like, whoa. I was just jumped off the page to me of like, wow, that's really surprising. I think as well with Schär, he's going to get suspended. There's just no question. He gets a yellow card every game.
Yellow card machine. Isn't
He is. He's a yellow card machine. So he's definitely going to get his turn, if you like. But he's right now, though. I mean, they are aging, right? They are, and I'm not saying that doesn't mean that they can't play for years to come. I mean, they've still got loads in them, but I think it wouldn't surprise us if on West Ham it's changed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I still will agree with what you're saying, though, that I still feel that his preferred are Botman and Shea. And actually, I do love, I know what you're saying about it doesn't matter, well, it hasn't in the past, but it is nice to have a left.
Well, it's a specialist, if you want to call it.
We've now got a full week now to prepare. It's not like midweek games.
It's West Ham
weekend, a couple times, so it's West Ham on
Sunday.
It's not the early kick on Saturday.
Sunday?
2 o'clock Sunday,
is it? Was it Sunday? I thought it was Saturday. All right, so we've got West Ham coming up next, and there has just been a match preview recorded early on tonight. Really early.
Are they in Europe this week?
Possibly.
That could be one of those.
No, is it not next week? Europe starts again.
Not tomorrow.
Yeah.
This week. Champions League tomorrow. I'll put the alternating.
That might be why it's Sunday then, if that's the case.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got a nice long trip to like Israel or something like that.
Yeah. So Sunday, Sunday 2 o'clock. That we're playing. So I forgot where I was going. Yeah. So there has been a match preview recorded, that will be going out for members first. So if you do want to become a member of the channel, you can do so for $2.99 a month. It gets you early access to most videos and plenty of other things like access to the Telegram group as well. Right, anybody got any questions, fire them in the comments and we'll go through as many as possible in the last 20 minutes. But, Bestie.
Hello.
Fun 88, new half-time challenge.
They're at home.
West. All right, who do?
We'll get on the phone in a minute.
Bucharesti.
Bucharesti.
Is that Stow Bucharest, maybe?
Dynamo, maybe?
Ex-Bucharesti?
That'd be Stoya. Yeah. Sporting Bucharest.
Yeah.
Stow Bucharest.
Stoya, isn't it?
Stoya.
So, yeah,
Stoya.
Fun 88's new half-time challenge.
Yes.
So we had a preview of that where, like you said, it was Pete Graves.
Pete Graves, yeah.
Was hosting it. And the players involved were Callum Wilson, Kieran Trippier, Murphy, and Nick Pope, I believe.
Big Pope, yeah.
So basically, it starts as a 10 yards out.
Yeah,
then it's
like
10 yards as it goes.
Incrementally, so 10 yards, 15, 20, 25, 30, I think, is the...
So,
or maybe 10, 20, yeah.
We'll see the video, and first up is Pope, I believe.
First up, you've got Pete Graves telling you what's going on.
Yeah.
Walking towards the camera pulls out. I didn't know he was wearing shorts.
Oh, right.
I thought he's wearing like a nice pair of chinos. Like, hang on a second. These are tight shorts. So that's the first little kind of, I was like, hang on a second. No, I'm watching this now. I'm invested. It starts off with Trippier. Trippier goes first.
Oh, does he?
Oh,
Nah, he doesn't, man.
Nah, he doesn't.
Isn't he? I'm sure he did.
He's later on, yeah.
Because Trippier absolutely smashes it.
Trippier, yeah.
I don't think Trippier goes first. I think it's Pope.
Is it Pope? I can't remember.
I think it's Pope.
Pope.
I think Trippier is one of the last ones.
I thought it was Pope.
Is Wilson not last?
No, Murphy. Is it not Murphy that is last?
God knows. Doesn't really make a difference.
Yes.
Because
it doesn't matter too much.
By a long way.
To do it. But yeah, But yeah, it looks like quite a good little, because that one, they were running out of people to do it last year, weren't they? Like, you had to do it at one point. So
I did too. I won it as well.
when it went, I've got a video. So I was I'm all for like a new halftime game. I always think it looks quite hard because I think the pitch is getting watered. You turn up there and you
don't want your loafers on, do you?
Oh no, you want to? Can you like take a pair of boots?
I don't see why not, mate.
Full kit.
You mean business if you're taking your studs on?
Take like a tinfoil FA Cup or something like that.
But yeah, Murphy.
Right. So Trippier scores all his efforts.
Very good, isn't he?
Wilson gets a couple. Big Pope, he does.
Wilson gets all
I think
but one.
Wilson only misses the last one, isn't it?
And Murphy, now God bless him. God bless him. That's shaking his head already.
I'd be fuming at that attempt.
I would.
Did he miss the first one and score the second, or was it the first one he scores?
If I was Jacob Murphy, I'd be having a word with the cameraman at the end of it saying, mate, like, can we get
try
someone
again.
else?
Can we make it the crossbar?
It was actually Josh. Off his face trying it and that. Like,
but it's
Allegedly.
horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous, isn't it?
it's terrible. It's like the criticism that you get. My major criticism of Jacob Murphy is that he's not a very good finisher. And like, he doesn't redeem himself one bit in this game. Like, and it's, he must be getting dogs abuse at training ground because it's an awful effort. Better only by the bloke who went first on Saturday.
Yeah,
I've never seen, even like I say, I bet it's quite hard on a greasy surface in trainers, whatever, get the ball off. There was one where he hit Justin Lockwood off to the side along the deck.
He did hit him. So the thing is, right, and what you're saying about the pitch, you're correct what you're saying, especially if you're wearing trainers. Your brain's more worried about falling over and just making it tit out yourself by falling flat on your arse, because it is slippy. It's really slippy on the field, and if you're not wearing boots, then you're knackered. Yeah. The other challenge on the pitch, you don't need much of a run up. You can just dink the ball into those buckets. But this one, you've got to get it. You've got to get
run up the flight, don't you?
I don't know. First, you can kick the ball 20. You can kick the ball 20 yards.
Well, the first two, then fine. But you seen how far back they were on the last one? They weren't taking a run up. I think it wasn't
on Stowell Street.
Like, I was honestly, they got booed off.
Did they? No. The thing that I've said for ages, and I said this with the
so did any of them score?
Yeah, the second one got
15.
But what
was it the first one or the
second?
The second one.
The first one didn't get the ball off the deck. It was like watching a superhero player try hit.
One went off to the left. One had just Lockwood. Then you went.
Surely, like the first one, you've just got to get your foot under a little bit and just
chip it.
The one which was be like 20 yards out. Like, he kicks it and it goes nowhere, and then just like what goes, getting closer.
There was one, because it's like the funny thing that covers the bottom of the goal. There's one that rolled into the bottom corner between the edge of the barrier and the post.
Did everybody sarcastically cheer?
No, I don't think anyone else really noticed. Really, I'd love a goal. I'm not going to go on to that. Was we were talking at halftime. If you were saying if you want to do that, if you didn't have total confidence in your ability to at least get a couple, you just wouldn't do it. It just totally on the pitch at St James's. But I've also said this for years now. And the second bloke should have done it because he scored with his second shot. He's then got 3 opportunities to get a ball. He's already won, so there's no point in continuing. Leg it towards Gallowgate with the ball. Lamp it as hard as you can at the corner. You've got half a stand there. I'll do it once in a lifetime.
I don't think they're lamping that ball anyway.
Fall over 3 or 4 times now. No, it was a disgrace. I don't want to be too.
Well, you've done it, mate.
Too harsh about it
because I'm good at I went for a piss now.
It was a poor performance. I'll leave it at that. It was a poor performance.
Right, moving on to the questions. This one is from Callum Lewis. He says, do you play Anderson next over Longstaff or Willock? Or play Anderson in the Bournemouth game?
I'm leaving for the cup match, I think.
Well, I think Willock's played every minute going, right? Almost, because he even played in the Tranmere game.
Yeah, he did.
And, I'm not saying that he needs a rest, but I just think if there is a player that might come out, first of all, is Bruno going to be fit for Sunday?
He's in contention.
So Maximin is also.
Yeah, Wilson's a little bit behind.
I think if Bruno was fit, there's no way he would change 2 of that 3. Of what's been there. But personally, I would love to see Anderson come in. I really would. I think he's excellent. I mean, honestly,
do you think he starts a Premier League game, or do you think he waits till the cup game, which is what?
Well,
October, November. It's a while away.
Yeah, it is.
In me head. To be fair, my heart's saying playing, but my head's probably saying that I think he won't start a Premier League game yet. I think it'll be a while. So someone would have to be injured.
I think so. I wouldn't expect him to start any this season, to be honest with you, unless
it was.
Unless they start dropping like flies in the middle of the park. But yeah, I think Willock probably is next. That chance he had towards the end, where he kind of shanked it wide. That wasn't very good.
So it wasn't. I still think it was a difficult one to take. Like, as much as I don't think that he's, I've been quite negative about him. As I thought it was a difficult chance. That it wasn't as easy as he did shin it wide. Like, it was a big chance.
He's facing away from the goal, so he's got to try and get it.
It's not easy.
He'll do better. He'll do better down there.
Yeah. Well, if you probably asked him, he'd probably say I should have done better. So I always try and think of what the player would think.
Given the half-time lads, I kind of really let Willock up with a clean slate there. Like, so.
What would you do, Mark? Would you stick with Willock, or would you
bring Matt Ritchie in?
I'm the same. I'd like to see Anderson, but I don't think we will.
Yeah.
I think he'll stick with the 3 that we've seen.
If Bruno's
not fit.
Yeah.
You think Bruno will be pushing for this game because he'll be up against his mate?
Yeah.
Paqueta, the one that got away.
But it's a big shout, because you don't want to risk him. You don't want to chuck him in there just for the sake of it if he's not right, and then risk him then being out for a little bit.
Absolutely smashing him, I'll tell you that.
Aye.
Well, he's playing if he's Joe Linton smashes him,
Brazil.
World Cup squad. He's only got a couple of months, like so. No, I don't think, given how Howe's managed, Bruno so far and how he's done what started to do with Botman, I don't think unless Bruno's like totally fit, he plays.
Yeah,
maybe off the bench.
Maybe on the bench. That's what I'm. Yeah,
but
it's far too early on the season. It doesn't mean enough. It's not like there's 2 games to go and we need a win.
Yeah.
So you play him. You know what I mean? There's just no need, is it? You play him if he's absolutely 100% fit. If he's not, he doesn't.
Might go back to what I said last week. I mean, we're unbeaten, but we hadn't won since the first game. We still haven't won since the first game.
Yeah, we've only won 1 game all season.
Yeah,
so now a run of draws has become a run of draws.
That's a question. So the next question is from Zach that says, are you worried about how many points we've picked up this season, or are performances enough for you?
I'm not worried at all, no.
Just because obviously on the back of what we were saying last week, we're saying, yes, it's winning the first game. We haven't won since.
Yeah.
But there have been some great displays in there. And
they're playing well.
Some terrible decisions. Some terrible decisions, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a decision side of it as well. Like, that it kind of totally disregard.
You've got to look at who we've played as well.
Exactly right. Liverpool away, Man City at home, Wolves away. I mean, it was Wolves' second point in the season.
Brighton away as well. The no mugs.
When does it get easy though? We can sit here and say that. When does it get easy? We've got West Ham away next.
Wolves
we'll
haven't been very good either.
Yeah,
they couldn't even beat Bournemouth, and that just been humped 9-0 the week before. Like they're not exactly firing. You know what I mean? But they took it to the last kick of the game, Buckingham, to get an equaliser down there. I'm not saying we're poor. I'm very negative, but like, you know what I mean? It wasn't.
It's not been. It's not been the kind of, after the way last season ended. More like the third top team in the country form-wise in 2022, whatever. It hasn't been that continuation, but I think it was. I don't think anyone really thought it would be. But it does feel a little bit like kind of, what do you call it, a reality check where we haven't. I would have looking at the fixtures on paper. You think we'd probably be Palace at home because we did last season and relative merits and all that. But then you don't really anticipate you're going to get Liverpool the game that we did down there, like
on the back of missing Wilson and Saint.
Yeah.
And
Bruno.
It was an unbelievable performance.
It was a great performance. It was excellent. The Man City game, I don't think anyone really thought that would go there. Turn up against them. Haven't gone a goal down within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And at one point, be 3-1 up.
Yeah.
You know, that was another one where, like, we've.
Imagine if I'd have hung on there, man.
Oh, man. Totally exceeded expectations. So for me, it would be nice to have a couple more points on the board, but I'm not concerned. Not like last season where I thought, God, we're deep in this shit here.
The performances from the defence themselves as well were hard to score against.
We don't concede many goals at all.
No.
3 against Man City, 1 against Wolves.
This season.
So Forest, Brighton, weekend, Palace. Yeah. Maybe more.
That's 3 and 6 now. Conceded against Wolves, conceded against Liverpool, Man City. Conceded against Man City.
And from a team like us who are, I think, would concede the most goals in the country at one point last season. I'll take that. But looking, you see it shared all the time online. People who put on the team sheet from the first game of last season, at a certain point in last season, and then the team now, and you look at the defense, compare it and think, actually, this is a totally different beast now. Like it's everyone's different. Goalkeeper, centre halves. Last year wasn't really playing, was he? Target's in, Trippier's in. It's like, wow, this is a better team now. It just is demonstrably a better football team. They're playing better, they're defending better, they're getting at teams, scoring 3 against Man City, against Liverpool. I mean, beyond the point at which the whistle should have gone, really. Joe Linton's only putting a cross in. I mean, he shouldn't be doing that, really. But it was a bit, against Bulgaria in '93. But still, that's how we're playing. And for a team that wastes time, apparently, to put a cross in like that in 96 minutes.
Time waste, isn't it?
I know. I suppose it works because it takes a minute. So, yeah. I mean, we did fucking waste a lot.
Well, talking about
Nick Pope was taking paracetamol like a minute.
Wasting time. Palace were right at it at the weekend as well.
But that's just what teams do. Teams do it up here all the time. We did at Anfield. We were. I've got no problem with what happened at Anfield. The whole thing. I would have.
It was as if we're the first team that's ever done that.
Oh yeah,
the overreaction. I've never seen no like it.
But it's
honestly, it was unbelievable.
It's in James. Has been so many times when we've had, say, 5 minutes, a keeper's gone down, someone's gone down on their team for a minute or two, and nothing's been added at the end. I'm thinking, well, where's that? Why isn't that being added?
Yeah.
At Anfield, it was. It's a kick in the teeth, but
it was defended so poorly as well, that goal.
Yeah, it was probably the poorest moment of the season.
Well, you should have turned up last week if you wanted to talk about this.
What was I going to say? I think as well, and listen, I need to be careful here because someone's going to have us, probably him. It also, I think, goes to show the importance of Bruno and St. Maximum.
Yeah,
Because,
I agree,
in my honest opinion here, if Maxi's not on against Man City, we've lost the game because he had a hand in every goal.
He was superb that day. He was
Wolves, he scored the equaliser, so we've lost there.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, you've lost, and drew this one.
Yeah.
So it just proves that you need that impact player, that little spark. Because I feel, again, I'm going totally against what I actually even tweeted, but we probably might have won that game if I had Maxi or Bruno on. Just that one pass or that one little bit of thing to get that like X factor moment to get the goal.
Any team you take your 3 best players out of the team, you're going to struggle.
Is that you saying that Maxi's one of our 3 best players?
On his day.
Yeah.
I think I like Ryan Fraser, but I think Maxi offers a more.
It's just nice.
Like carrying the ball, I think we'll get.
Fraser's very direct.
He's not direct in this. I mean, Maxi's direct. You know what I mean? Listen, I don't dislike
Fraser a lot.
But you can just see the difference.
Yeah,
you just see the difference. You know what I mean?
If we're looking at Bruno alongside, then obviously you see the difference.
Well, if you asked any single fullback in the league, a right back, and you went, you're going to be playing against Maxi today or Fraser, who are they picking?
Yeah.
Who are they picking?
Not just that, but if he's getting doubled up on, Isaac's got a bit more room.
Yeah.
It goes on along the pitch. Like so,
it's just huge losses for her.
Yeah.
And I am the only thing I'm worried about. I'm not worried about points. I'm not worried about performances. No, I am worried about the injuries we're picking up.
A lot of hamstrings.
Just a lot of pulling up.
That's because they're doing so much more work now.
I honestly don't know. I really don't know. But,
because of training.
Hold on a minute. We complained last season that we were picking up loads of groin injuries and hamstrings injuries because we weren't training enough under Bruce.
Yeah.
Now we're saying we're picking up the same injuries because we're training too much.
It's the midweek games as well.
How
it's just a bit of that.
No, I'm not saying there's a problem by anyone. I'm just saying that we've had 3 of our best players already injured within 5 games.
Oh yeah,
it's early in the season. That's the issue.
I'm not complaining either. What I'm saying is that they're covering that much more ground now. Is that an effect? Could the fact that I don't know.
The intensity is great.
I'm not a sports scientist.
You can look back at last season and the season before Wilson and saying missed decent chunks of seasons as well.
Same injuries.
They're never out for just one game. They're out for a handful of games.
Under Rafa, we had a load.
Never heard that name in a long
time.
Injuries. How long is that? 7 weeks and. It used to be like 20 minutes in.
Injuries aren't a new thing. It happens. And
no, especially a lot of hamstring injuries early in the season.
I even died when Nelly died when Isaac went off. It was a dead leg, but I seen him get nice strapped up. I thought, oh my god, not another one. I know it wasn't.
Well, talking about the dead leg for how long?
That was a long. Yeah, I just feel like I'm not saying the mountain up, but it's just I'm taking an air a bit quicker when I'm seeing someone go to the deck because I'm worried straight away. Oh my god, you know what I mean? And I get it, right? That Maxi always has this little hobble in that, and sometimes when he goes down, I'm not even worried because I don't think he's going to be hurt personally. But it's not nice to be 5 games in and we've lost 3 best players. That's what
I think that with the way we're playing now, with that high press, the amount of energy that they're using on a game by game basis and the intensity that they're playing at and training at will have an effect. But
no,
I'm saying it will have an effect.
Jump down my throat.
You're very early in the season, and I think that's the issue: is people's bodies just aren't up to speed yet.
I think it's a type
with the game.
It's those type of players that are picking the injuries up. Maxi's always going to get injuries, especially muscle injuries.
More explosive.
Yeah, the type of player that he is.
100%.
I think it's just one of those things you're going to expect. Seeing to pick up injuries, and Callum Russell never go a season without an injury.
And I think as well, again, to go back to the positive here, we've lost our 3 best players, arguably, and we're not losing games of football. We're not playing poorly necessarily. It's just all I was meaning was it's just that little bit of extra edge might have gotten you the win.
Against Palace, certainly. I mean, the goal was just loud, but even then, the chances that they had, Isaac's one, Almiron hit the post. You think, well, there was a couple of times where we're looking in the second half. I can't remember Gaeta making many saves, their keeper.
No,
and to be fair, we'll focus on that VAR decision. The referee was absolutely shocking throughout the game.
It was dreadful. It was absolutely really poor. But it was weird because he started off giving us an out. And then after about half an hour, he thought, I'm going to start giving Palace out now. So we started getting every kind of borderline decision. And then the second half, he changed back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we'll give him the goal because he's being told from Stockley Park what to
the rest of the game.
Look at but it was atrocious, guy.
Yeah. Right. We will end it on this one. We'll go back to the goalkeeping union. This
Go
is
on,
from
go on.
Fish and Rods. It says, is Pope better than Shea Given?
Oh.
Based on what you've seen.
Oh,
I know it's quite a small section.
God, that's a really... If Pope... Shea Given's probably the best stopper I've ever seen in Newcastle. I think just purely for shot stopping, Darlow probably runs them quite close. I think Given's streets ahead everywhere else, but Pope commands his box better than Given did, certainly.
Yeah.
He makes better decisions. Distribution yet to be seen. And no, not yet. Ask us in after the World Cup.
The sample size isn't big enough.
Yeah.
Not quite. And that's only
if you could tell me that he'll play there for the next 10 years,
Should he
can't be 40.
Should he be England's number one? From what
On form.
asking a Newcastle podcast, that's always going
No, but on form, when you look at...
How did you not see his performance yesterday against Liverpool?
That save.
My goodness, Lord.
He made a couple of very good saves.
He's a brilliant. He's a good goalkeeper. But then he'll make a save and push it straight back into the box.
Yeah. I think he can't play at our place. We know that.
Yeah.
We know that. But I think it's a flip of a coin. I think Pope's outstanding, by the way. And of course, I'd love to see him represent the country. I'm just basing it on Southgate trusting his player. He trusts his players.
He does.
He does until he lets them down.
When you look at they've got the World Cup semi and they've got the European Cup Championships final last summer. Pickford, the only thing was the free kick Denmark scored. I thought he could have done better with. And even then, it's a brilliant free kick.
Yeah.
But I still feel as though it wasn't quite. But then
his performance on Saturday,
he's been
I know
superb.
it's one game, but
He's been excellent for
that game.
But he is quite. I was going to say he's quite hot and cold. But then, what goalkeeper isn't? Hugo Lloris threw one in the World Cup final against Croatia, and he's a wonderful goalkeeper.
It's just the way he carries himself, isn't it? That's all it is. That's why I hate him for Sunderland reasons, of course, as well. But even on Saturday, he was just being a tit. Just being a dick. Like the way he celebrates. I know he's doing a great save, but he's running around shouting and bawling. He's just mad. Like, and that's just.
Oh, he's crackers.
Well, there's about 5 minutes or so where he made 2 or 3 brilliant saves.
Unbelievable.
And then Alisson made one up the other end as well. It was
save.
just before the Everton goal got disallowed, the Conor Cody thing. I think much as I've been really impressed with Pope, and maybe he is better than Pickford. I've not really seen enough of Pope to kind of say yet. He certainly seems more steady,
100%.
as in like mentally, he's on a total
A bit more stable.
Aye, but Pickford he's an exceptional goalkeeper. Like, don't like him, but he's a brilliant goalkeeper.
Right. So
form charts, Pope's ahead.
Well, we'll end on this one. So this one is from Graham Dougal that says, given the new sponsor commercial partner, is Shelby coming back looking like Tarzan? So the club did announce today that we do have a new partnership with it is
Dr.
Cynic, I think the
Cynic
pronunciation is. Yeah, I've been looking into it today just in case.
You've been looking into it?
Yeah, just in case. Because
over the Tyneside branch.
If you look on the statement that the club put on it does say that watch out in the future because fans will be getting discounts on it as well. So I'm not sure if you will be getting a discount on it. But yeah, is it a move forward, Decker, to have an official hair transplant?
I think so. I think it's a good idea.
I noticed it at the weekend.
It's a strange one, though, isn't it?
A few times on the board on the outside. I thought, what's this?
What's your thoughts on it, Mark?
I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm sure, Chris, you'd feel the same if we can get
if I get a discount,
some sort of discount. Yeah. And I do like a holiday to Turkey, so 2 birds, 1 stone.
I've never been to Turkey.
Lovely, great, lovely people.
Yeah.
Would you get your teeth done as well? Or just your hair?
I've got good pair of teeth.
Yeah.
Just 2.
Pair of teeth? Is that top and bottom pair? Set. I think I meant set.
But yeah, it's a strange one. I didn't expect it. I saw the boards at the weekend. I saw the boards, but I just thought nothing of it. I just thought it's just a random sponsor like you get. But
I know
it's official hair sponsor.
The cynic in it thinks it's just a money making scheme.
I don't know how long it'll be before
that was quite good.
Before the part with him.
I think we'll call for this one.
I've got no better. So.
Let's cut this episode short.
Well, yeah. Before we do, just quickly on the table, West Ham thoughts on that because we haven't. I know that there's a preview going out which will be outstanding from Scott, of course. Any other two guys, I forgot who was doing it. But Bestie, what do you think for Sunday?
We are wrong because they've had a really bad start of the season, West Ham. I think they're second bottom. Like Leicester are bottom, they're second bottom. I might be.
God, Leicester look bad, by the way. But
yeah, Leicester,
I think they've only scored a couple of goals as well.
Does nobody get one choked off?
True.
It was poor. That, like.
Oh, dreadful.
It's weird because then they've just come so close to getting a point at Stamford Bridge. So that obviously like knee mugs and they're playing in Europe this week. But they're playing Europe this week, and that can affect teams really badly.
Absolutely.
But there again, it didn't affect them that badly last season. They finished 6th, 7th.
A little bit more momentum than I feel. I just feel sometimes, you know, I don't know.
They've bought a lot of players in. There's some obviously Paqueta's there now. That
spent a lot of money.
Cornet as well. They've signed. He's there now, isn't
Watford. Cornet, was it?
Yeah.
I'll take a draw.
We'll take another one.
I'll be happy with a draw. Yeah.
When do we stop taking draws?
I don't think we need it. We'll just get 38 points. We'll stop up. We'll be all right.
Yeah. For me, it's another hard one. And like I said, we'll look at it and say, oh, we've had a horrible start of the season. But there's not many games where you look at now and think, oh, we'll definitely get something there.
Well, that's the thing. It's a horrible start of the season. But when you get like 10, 11 games in, you by law of averages, you've probably had a reasonable sample size. Kind of know
of course.
We've done okay down there in recent memory. We've always seemed to.
That free kick that Henry Saivier scored.
I remember Maxi just retiring Zabaleta.
That's good. First off, the 3-0 at half time.
It was unbelievable.
I think we'll get a win on this one.
I think so.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go 2-1.
I'd feel more confident with Callum Wilson being there because he always likes to goal against West Ham.
I think
it's
West Ham have got a big pitch. They've got a big pitch. So he's actually going to get lots of space there, and especially if Bruno and Saint's back.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't confident until I've heard you. So thanks, lads. I think we're going to do it now. I wasn't really. I would say like I'll take a draw.
I'll be happy with a draw. I think a draw is a decent result.
It is
because for all they haven't had a great start. Again, it's a start. You know what? 5-6 games into the season. So
I'm gonna be saying the same about us. They've only won one game this season. That's their opinion would be.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, there is a full match preview going out in the next couple of days. Like I said earlier, it will be going out as early access to members only before it goes out to everybody else. That isn't a member. But boys, that's it for tonight. Thanks everybody for joining us. It's been a pleasure as always. And yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're not far from 9,000 subscribers as well. I think we're only a handful away from that as well. So just subscribe. It's all we ask.
Share the videos.
Yeah.
So we can get somebody to come and join us.
Very much.
Hit that like button now. Just right now. That thumbs up. Press it. You done it? Thank you.
Thanks everybody. See you later.
Keep on putting down.
Bye.